Picture this, it's 4 years ago. TikTok was still brand new. No one really knew what was going on. Everyone thought it was still just a dancing app. So did I when I downloaded it. At that time, I was on disability from my job at the bank because I have autoimmune diseases and I take chemotherapy for them. Still do. So I had a lot of time on my hands. No, I've already messed this up. I forgot primer. This is the first time I've done this before, can you tell? Okay, we're just gonna mix it in here and see what happens. Don't do what I do. It's the spring of 2020. I have tons of time on my hands. Start using TikTok and realizing, oh my gosh, there's all of these amazing small businesses all over the world doing incredible. My lips are, it's winter. Winter does this to my lips. Does it do it to yours? During this time, I'm also having a serious skin flare. And whenever this happens with my psoriatic arthritis, skin is horrible. Like you can't, those who know, okay? So my doctor is trying to push me to go back on steroid cream. It's during this time that I actually see on TikTok about topical steroid withdrawal. If you don't know what that is, look it up, but crazy. Okay, trying to push me on steroids again. I start looking up different alternatives using TikTok. I then realized that there are tons of cultures all over the world that practice deep exfoliation. And deep exfoliation helps with all kinds of different skin conditions naturally. Different cultures will use tools, different kinds of tools to help clear their skin, and it's also part of a cultural ritual too. It sounds amazing. Then I start to research a little bit more and realized, oh my God, exfoliating gloves would be this would be so helpful for me. So these gloves that are used are made using silk. And if you don't know how silk is made, you can look it up or not. But I'm just telling you that it's a thing. It's real. I did not want silk gloves. I start to look and see if there's any plant-based or organic options around me. I'm in Canada, and I couldn't find anything in Canada. I'm like, oh, what? And then I look in the US. There's none in the US either. I'm thinking, oh my God. Oh my God, I'm gonna start a business. Perfect for my thriving ADHD. So that's what I do. With the help of mainly YouTube, I figure out how to start a business. I've never made a website before. I didn't really use Instagram. I didn't even realize when people started to send me DMs on my business Instagram, I'm like, why are these people messaging me and asking me questions? I didn't even know what a DM was. Like, this is what level of skill we're talking about, okay? So, search and design, I'm able to find a special plant-based fabric that exfoliates the skin very similarly to these silk gloves. However, it's plant-based. I'm like, oh my God, let's go. And then just to give you another idea of how amateur I am, like most things that I do, I start making a few videos, nothing really happens, but then all of a sudden, I had one video start to go viral, and I was like, oh God, and sell it right away. I'm like, okay, this is cool. I had a few weeks later, I make another video, it goes absolutely viral, but the thing is, I didn't even know what time of year it was, and it was, all I knew was that it was my mom's birthday. Turns out my mom's birthday is on Black Friday. Black Friday isn't really a big thing in Canada, so I had no idea about timing, anything like that. So I absolutely sell it again, have to do pre-orders, all this stuff. During this time, my ex and I were living together, and he was not very helpful or supportive. So my mother, bless her heart, would come and drive 3 hours to see me and spend about 3 or 4 days with me to help me pack orders and then go back home. And that's how I was able to handle it. Because I, again, had no idea what I was doing. So, long story short, I end up leaving that guy. And I move into my own place, and I continue to make TikToks, and the business continues to grow. About a year later, I joined an entrepreneurial group because I'm doing this all by myself. I'm in rural Nova Scotia, which is like in East Coast Canada. Some people don't even have high-speed internet where I'm from, just to give you like an idea. So I then join this entrepreneurial group and I have to make a case study to explain, just to give information to other entrepreneurs about how I grew my business on TikTok. With that case study, I was then invited by this entrepreneurial group to speak in Austin, Texas in a week. I'd never been to Texas, ever. All of a sudden, I'm on a plane to Texas. I speak at this entrepreneurial group. I finally feel good because I'm surrounded around people that I feel like I know what they're doing, like they understand what I'm going through and what's going on. And then while I'm there, I meet a lovely woman. Hey, Liz. And she says that there's a really big meeting for entrepreneurs doing what I'm doing in Mexico next week, that I should go. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never been to Mexico. All of a sudden next week, I'm on a plane to Mexico. And I'm at this conference. I'm scared because I never really traveled. I didn't really know what I was doing. So I'm at this conference, and then I start to tell people a little bit about who I am and things like that. While I'm at this conference, I get invited to speak a month later in London at a different conference. And I'm thinking, are you sure? Are you sure? So anyway, a month later, I'm speaking in London at this conference. And that's when things just started to really go crazy for me.